leads for your business. Okay. So, Monday, we talked about, well, first of all, why LinkedIn, right? This is something that I have just tried to reinforce all week. I've talked about this because LinkedIn is so, so important, and it's actually getting more and more important as, Facebook and some of the other platforms, their organic traffic just gets worse and worse. LinkedIn and TikTok are the two number one platforms that have the best organic traffic right now. So definitely want to be utilizing that. But if you're doing B2B, obviously LinkedIn would be better than TikTok. Just depends on your audience. So that's why I wanted to talk about LinkedIn and how you can actually maximize all the different features available to do prospecting on LinkedIn. Okay, so 575 million LinkedIn users. Okay, and about half of them, 260 million, are actually active every single month. So that's a lot of eyes on your experience and, just that are on your content. And then 73% of people said that they would actually choose to keep their LinkedIn profile over their resume. Okay, so that's really important. On Monday, we talked about how to set up your profiles for success. On Tuesday, we talked about how to write articles to create engagement and organic traffic. And I didn't just teach you how to write the article, but I also taught you what to do with the article to make sure that you can maximize the traffic from that article. And then yesterday, we talked about how to use Sales Navigator to find targeted connections. And we actually created, I went through with you and showed why, why you want to actually create the targeted connection list. And then today, we're actually going to talk about what to do with that list. Okay. Now, I talked about how, how to narrow down the list of people so that you make sure that you are targeting them, that their specific people are in your group. Okay. Now, it's really important because if you are, you go to Sales Navigator and you choose a list of, 2,000 people, well, you only get 100 connection requests that a week from LinkedIn. So you can see why it would take a really long time to weed through all of the people to follow up with them. Okay, so once you have a really targeted list, this strategy I'm going to show you today is really going to help you automate a lot of that follow-up process. And then, of course, on Friday is our live Q&A. So if you're a member, you can join me in the Zoom meeting. If you would like to join our team, whether you want to learn with us, work with us, or hire us, we have everything you need to start and scale your online business. You can visit bridgetbartlett.com to choose the best plan for you. Okay, so let's get into the training. Okay, welcome back. I do want to say hello to Val and Linwood. Thank you so much for joining me live. We definitely aren't learning about Norton's today. So the tool that we're going to use is LinkedIn Helper 2. Okay, the 2 is the second generation. It has a lot more features than the original one. I actually just started using this, so I'm kind of doing like a review of my experience the last week or so, and the pros and cons. But I also want to show you how you can actually use this. Now, if you are interested in getting a free trial of Linked Helper, you can go to linkedhelper.visionmarketinganddesign.com, and you see this little image right here. You will actually get the free 14-day trial so that you can try all the pro features and see what you think, but you will also help me by giving me a free month. So thank you in advance. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's talk about this actual tool. Okay, so this is what Linked Helper looks like. Okay, now you can see that once you download Linked Helper on your desktop, you are going to log into your LinkedIn account. Okay, now you can see that I'm logged into LinkedIn here, and I can also access Sales Navigator. All right, so I'm going to show you first what you would want to do. Okay, so we are going to create a new list or a new campaign. Okay, this is the very first step to automating the follow-up process. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how this actually works. So we're going to create a new campaign, and we're going to call this campaign, we'll just call it training. But really, if I was creating a real campaign, maybe I would want to call it well, we'll just say follow up, or we'll say follow, comment, and like. All right, so we'll do comment and like, and I'll show you why in just a second. Okay. So we can choose, are we going to be searching for people or organizations? Okay, now we talked before about if you are searching for organizations, you really want to use that search to find the people and connect with them. So we're just going to use people right now. And we can choose any of these available templates. Okay, if we want to start from scratch, we can just use empty campaign. You can choose to create a campaign to invite people to connect with you and then follow up with them. You can invite by email and follow up. You can invite your first connections to a group. And keep in mind, this is all automated. So this is super, super cool. And then I'm going to also tell you how they can get away with this. Okay, because this is technically against the terms of service for LinkedIn. Okay, I'm actually not live streaming today to LinkedIn because I don't want this video to hurt my account or cause me to, get a strike against me. So I am not live streaming this video to LinkedIn because, like I said, it is against terms of service. You can invite the list. You can invite first to follow organization, your company or school, visit or extract profiles, send InMails. And we talked, remember, about Sales Navigator gives you like 50 credits for InMails, follow profiles, endorse first connections, remove first connections, and you can create a whole messaging sequence that maybe you want them to go through. Okay, so I'm actually going to choose follow profiles, and then I'm going to click create. Okay, so what I've done is I've created a campaign. Okay, and what we're going to do is follow the profile, and then we're going to set this to not only go to their profile and follow them, but we can also set it to like one of their posts and then also to comment. Okay. So right here, it says, here is the first step. Okay, so if you imagine this kind of like our workflows that we have in Vision, or, maybe like an email sequence or something like that. So you can choose here. We're going to follow the profile. So whatever contacts that we decide to put in here, because we haven't created a list yet. Okay, to this point, we're just creating what we want to happen once we add contacts to this workflow. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to follow them. So we're telling the system, okay, start at this time, and we are going to follow, or you can choose to unfollow. So I'm going to just leave it at follow. You can add tags or remove tags. I'm not really concerned about that. And then you can also choose the delay settings. Now, delays, this is how they can get away with this automation, okay? Because this system is designed to mimic your actual activity on LinkedIn, okay? We'll talk about here in just a second all of how you can set the limits, but you want to be very cautious of the limits so that it doesn't basically, it doesn't recognize that this is a robot running for you. So it definitely is something that you want to set maybe in the middle of the night and then just basically forget about it, okay? So you can choose here to manually set the bunch sizes or the timeout in between bunches, or you can just click here to reset to safe delays, and then it will automatically do that for you and keep you within the limits. That way you're not going over the limits and then hurting your account. Okay, so I want to click here now because I need to add a stage. So I'm just going to click the little plus sign, and then I can choose, visit or extract profiles here. I can message the first connection. I can check for replies. I can invite second or third contacts. But what I really want to do, if we scroll down here, you can see that you can find profile and emails as well. You can invite person to an event, send person to a webhook. So this is what I was saying before about if you wanted to take your contacts that you extract from here, you want to scrape the internet, which that's a whole other training. If you wanted to scrape to get the emails, and then you wanted to send that contact to maybe a Google spreadsheet or something like that, or maybe directly into the CRM, you could do that as well. You can set a delay actions, follow or unfollow, which is actually what we have here is the follow part. We can message, invite to group, invite person by email, remove a first connection, filter contacts, invite to follow, like and comment posts and articles, or send a person to Snovio campaign. And Snovio is what is basically they use to extract emails. So hello, Floyd and Maria. Thank you so much for joining us as well. Okay, so I'm going to add a step here, and I'm going to click here to add the like, comment, posts, and articles. So what we're telling the system to do right now is whatever contacts that I put into this workflow, I want it to follow the profiles, and then I want it to go to a post, and I need to tell it to do something. Okay. So I'm going to choose here. It says like X articles and like Y posts. Okay. So how many articles do I want it to like? Now, keep in mind too that you are allowed, and you can set the limits to whatever you want to, but the recommended safety limit for the actions that you can use the software within your LinkedIn account is 150 actions. Okay, so if you think about what we're telling it to do here, this step would be one action. If we say to like 2 articles, that's 2 actions. So for one contact, we're going to follow and then like 2 articles. That will be 3 actions. Okay, so this is why a really, really targeted list like using Sales Navigator is so important. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this so that it doesn't take forever. And I want to say if they have an article, I'm going to like 1 article, or actually let's say 0 articles, and then let's just choose 1 post. Okay, so we're going to like 1 post. Now, do we want to comment to a post or article? This would be another action. Okay, so you have to definitely consider that. But when I was playing around with different ideas and different strategies, what I was doing is following people, and then I would comment and I would say, hey, thanks for sharing. And then, I'd love to connect, send me a connection request. So what that does, and I got a lot of views of my profile. And then I also, and again, that's important because we talked about Monday, how you maximize that profile, because the goal is for people to look at your profile and then want to contact you or connect with you, right? So what we can do is we can go to a profile and think about yourself on LinkedIn too. Okay. If you see that, because most people don't have a whole bunch of notifications and people commenting and liking. So what you're doing is you're actually helping their post by liking and commenting, but you're also putting yourself in front of them. So if they have, 10 notifications a day and they go to LinkedIn, then you are already 2 of those notifications that they have, because it's gonna show that you liked, and then it's also gonna show that you commented. Okay, so we're gonna like a post, we're gonna comment, and then we can use these basically these tags here or variables so that you can customize it. So if it goes to Linda's profile, it's going to say, Linda, thanks for sharing. Okay, now I actually want to change this around. So I'm going to say, I'm going to cut this, and then I'm just going to paste this. So I'm going to type just something a little bit more, I don't know, flowy, I guess, a little more makes sense to me, or how I would actually say it. So I'm going to just say, thanks for sharing, comma, and then the first name, because that's how I would actually say it. I love what you are. I love what you are doing. Um, if you are interested, or you can say, or if you are open, because we as entrepreneurs, we don't like to be told that we're not open to things. And so if you say, if you're open, it kind of tells us like, yes, of course I'm open. Even though a lot of us being marketers, we're like, yeah, I'm not open to anything because I'm so used to getting spammed. So for me, if someone says, are you open to a new opportunity? It honestly, that word makes me feel like I should be open. So I'm just going to use that word. I'm going to say, if you are open to connecting, send me a request. Now, the reason that I am not just sending requests like this is because I want to not be so spammy, and I'm basically putting the ball in their court, okay? So what I'm hoping to happen here is they see this and they're like, who is this person? They love what I'm doing. So I'm complimenting them, and I'm saying, if you're open to connecting, send me a request. So they're going to look at my profile. If they are open, if it looks like something, if my profile looks like something that they could benefit from, that I could benefit by helping them, then they're going to send me a connection request. Okay. If not, then that's great, because they've saved me a lot of time and trouble, because I don't need to waste my time with them if we're not going to benefit one another. Okay. So I'm going to save this message here, and I'm going to click save. Now, that is my message. Okay, so far, if you're following me, what we're doing is all the contacts that we put in this list or this campaign, we're going to go to their, or the robot is going to go to their LinkedIn profile, and it's going to follow them. Okay, and it's really cool, actually, and kind of, somebody told me it was kind of creepy when we actually start the campaign, because I'm going to let you see what it actually does. But what we're going to do is we're going to go to their LinkedIn, or the robot will go to their profile. And then it will follow them, and then it will go to their posts, and then it's going to like a post, and then it's going to comment below, and it's going to say, thanks for sharing, whatever their first name is. I love what you're doing. If you're open to connecting, send me a request. Like I said, we could add some tags down here if we wanted to, and then we could also customize the delay settings. Now, this text input method, when this right here is kind of important. So when it says insert the text, what it's going to do is basically take the comment that I've typed out here, and it's just going to paste it and then click send. Okay, now that could be perceived by LinkedIn as a spammy thing or a robot thing. Okay, so you do have the option. You can insert it, or you could have it type it in. So when you choose type, what it's going to do is literally, you can watch it when the campaign's live. It'll type THANKS space, and then it literally types it out like a real person is typing it. So you could choose to do that, or you can maybe do a combination to speed it up a little bit. Since I am only doing a few connections because they're very targeted, and since I'm going to be just letting this run overnight, I prefer to be safer, because I care more about my the integrity of my account than I do being spammy and all of those things. So I'm just going to keep it on type, and then of course I'm going to make sure this is reset to safe delays, because better safe than sorry. And now basically this profile is ready to go. We're ready to start adding contacts, okay? So now here is why I was saying it's so important to choose a good list, all right? So we're already in the campaign right now, and I can click here to add, or I can go to lists, and then I can add contacts this way. Just for the sake of training, let's go ahead and click here to add contacts. Now, you can go to your search page. Okay, so if I go to my actual LinkedIn account, and I'm just using the free version, and I want to type in people that I want to send messages to, I can just start doing that here. But remember, if we're trying to really limit the, and really send these messages and spend the time, we want to make sure that our list is very high quality, like the closest to our exact client that we need for our business. Okay, so what you can do is go to Sales Navigator. Okay, we talked yesterday about building a list. So I'm going to go to leads list, and you can see here I have the list that we were creating yesterday for self-employed first degree connections. So I'm going to choose this. Let me go ahead. Okay. So now I am on the list right here. You can see there's only like 54 people here. So when I'm on this list, what I want to do now is, and I'm on the campaign that I want to use. So I'm going to choose collect, and then I can choose from source or the current page that I'm on. So I'm just going to say from current page. And you can see as soon as I click that, now it is collecting all of the information. Okay, so I already had 25 in the queue. So what it's doing is it's going through this list, and it's going to collect all of these contacts that I have here. Okay, now it's adding to the queue. You see I'm already at 50 now. So when it gets done adding all the contacts, it's already done. So what I want to do now is start the campaign. Okay, so I'm going to click here to start campaign. And now it's going to go to the very first contact. It's going to, and you see down here, it's saying queued 54 because that's how many contacts we had here. It hasn't processed any yet because remember, it wants to act like a real person. And you're going to see, and it will honestly teach you a lot too about LinkedIn if you sit here and watch this, watch how it does everything. It's really cool. So it hasn't processed any yet, and it's saying the next action will start in now 11 seconds. And what it's going to do is it's going to go to this person's profile here, okay? Because I guess that was the first person in the list. And as soon as this counts down, you'll see how it moves. So now it's going to this person's profile. And so we're waiting, okay? And then it tells you down here what it's doing, okay? So it's looking for this person. And sometimes you'll even see that it'll type up in the search bar here the actual name. So let's see what it actually does here. Okay, so in 2, 1, 0. Now let's see. I think it's going, yep. So it just pasted in the person's name. So this is that person. The robot just looked for it. So now the robot, I'm not doing any of this. Okay, the robot is going to the profile. So it's going to the next action. It's going to follow them. Okay. And you can see too, by watching this, it's a great way of seeing what other people are doing with their profile. Okay. Like you can see here that this guy, he did care about his banner here. So that's good. I would definitely suggest, upgrading this, making it look a little bit more snazzy, maybe telling a little bit more about it's kind of clear what he's doing, but I would make the image clearer and just update it. But I love that he had a video here. His image looks really professional. He looks friendly. I can't scroll down here because it's in the mode, but here in 0 seconds, now it's going to follow. It says click the see all activity button. So in 5, 4 seconds, it's going to actually do that for us. And again, I'm not doing any of this. So it scrolls down just like a real person would scroll down. And now it's click the activity button. Now in 12, 11 seconds, it says it's going to like and comment on a post. So this is really cool because you're going to actually see what it does. It's like a real person. It's going to type out, it's looking for a post and then it's going to type out the response here. So let's see as it scrolls down. So 9, 8, 7. This is kind of time consuming. I just wanted to show you the whole process of what it actually does, and then we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so you see that the robot actually clicked the post button and it just liked this post here. And you see now it's got the cursor here that is actually getting ready to type out the message that I told it to type out. So you see how it types instead of just pasting it in. So thanks for sharing. It's exactly the format that I chose. I love what you're doing. If you are interested in connecting, send me a request. Okay, so then it's going to share that and it's going to click post. And see how it's delaying. This is that safety part, okay? So that LinkedIn doesn't, recognize that you're actually using a robot. And then it clicked to post. So now you can see that I have actually commented. So I have seriously done none of this. All I have done was created the really targeted list, and then I set them up in a campaign. So I could put this basically what I do is I set this up to run in my office. And then I go in the living room with my dogs and all that. And I'm basically, it's like I hired a VA to do all of these things for me, but I'm not actually doing it. So just so you know, I am not touching any of this. I have not, this is the robot doing all of these things. Okay. So I'm going to stop the campaign now. And just because I don't want to sit here all day, even though I literally could sit here almost all day and watch this because it's so fascinating to me. Okay. So if you look in your CRM, you'll see that these are all the contacts that I've added here. You can search through the contacts that you have by first name if you're looking for someone specific, the avatar relationship. You can choose, maybe I just wanted to search for people who are on the premium plan who actually pay for LinkedIn. So I could do that. that. I could search for influencers or any of these other things, or tags or whatever. And I could also, if I want to, I'll just go back to any. If I wanted to select all of them, I could actually download the list as well. Okay. Now remember, when you download, you're not necessarily downloading their email address, okay, their contact information. But when you download this is what you could put into like Hunter or some type of software that will scrape the internet if you are someone who wanted to do a lot of cold messaging. So think about what all the things that you could do here. Okay. You can create very targeted connections. Okay. You can send connection requests. You can follow up. You can do all of these things. You can like on posts. And imagine if you had a bunch of really targeted first connections, and then you use this system to nourish those leads. And then you also scrape the internet and got their email address, or you just simply ask them for the email address and then put them in your CRM. And then now you're following up with them via email, on LinkedIn, lots of different ways, right? To be successful in marketing, your customer really needs to be exposed to your business or service 7 to 10 times before they make a buying decision. So we want to definitely make that easy for them, and we want to be in front of them. We don't want them to forget about us. Okay. So these tools, especially when you're a solopreneur, these tools are really important in being able to stay under your costs, so that you can actually keep a lot of your profits. But also it makes you more productive, right? So we're not hiring a VA to do these things for us. We are just setting up systems so that they can run for us while we do other things. Okay. If I was to go through all of these 2,500 contacts and do all of these things, that is literally more than a full-time job. Okay. But this system allows me, like I said, it's kind of like you have a salesperson who's just working for you all day long. Okay. Now, if you go to the dashboard here, you'll see that it allows you, or you can actually search through all of your campaigns and see, for example, how many did I add today? So 923. You can check some of these things out here. You can check out your inbox here. You have different settings here, and the limits is what I wanted to talk about. Okay. First of all, though, you have your working hours. Okay. So maybe if you do not, maybe you just want to set this system up and then just add contacts, but you don't want, that's all you want to do, right? You have the time to do that. That's fine. But you don't want to have to be working on this all the time. And you also don't want this to be interfering with your computer and things that you're doing. So you could actually have this run 24 hours or choose specific work times that you want it to work for you. Okay. Also, especially like, you definitely, if you're posting and things like that at like 2 a.m., that might seem kind of weird to your lead or something like that. So, it's all things that you want to consider. Okay. So let's go back to limits. Here is where you can set your limits. Okay. Now you can definitely do more than 150 actions in a 24-hour period. But again, it's most important to not use these tools to be spammy. It's most important to use the tools for quality connections to save yourself the time. Okay. And time is money. So that's how it all works out. So you definitely want to maintain the integrity of your account. Otherwise, you're really just wasting your time. Okay. You can send 9,000, connections, but if your Facebook account gets shut down, then what good did any of that work do you? You've actually hurt yourself more than helped yourself. Okay. One of the things I love about this too is you can actually, we talked before about how it's a great way of nourishing your contacts and connections by endorsing them. Okay, so you can actually endorse them for different skills and things like that. But here is where you want to set all the limits. Okay, so maybe you want to just make sure that you are only endorsing like 5 a day, or maybe you have different campaigns running. So one campaign is endorsing a certain set of contacts, and then one campaign is following. And maybe you want to say like, hey, I only want you to endorse 5 times a day, and then I want you to follow or unfollow 20 times a day. And then you can definitely check out the get email from LinkedIn Helper Finder and Maybe you want to only send like one InMail to your second or third contact. So this is like your admin panel to make sure that no matter how many campaigns you have going, no matter what is going on, that you are doing the specific actions and staying within your limits that will make sure that your account is, you have integrity with your account. Okay. So lots of really, really cool things that you can do here, guys. I'm really excited about this tool. LinkedIn Linked Helper has been around for more than 5 years. So they're really good about keeping up with the algorithms and making sure that everything that you're doing here is within the limits, because obviously they stand to lose their whole business if their tool can't work within LinkedIn's boundaries. Okay, so they're trying to fly under the radar. So just know that it does go against the terms of service, but you can definitely use this in a productive, quality way that is not spammy. It will definitely save you a lot of time. And again, if you want a free trial, you can go to linkedhelper.visionmarketinganddesign.com. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys find some success with this. I think it's a really, really cool tool. You know that I love automation. So I will see you all tomorrow for our Friday Q&A. Go make your vision a reality. Bye.